let's dive into magic. How did you meet the other members, and where did the idea of starting a band together come from?
Well, see, you already brought up the Nizuka brothers, right? So George was buddies with Nasri, and George introduced me to him. And they first time he came was when me and Justin and Alex, the former drummer of Magic, is my best buddy. And Anthony Lebdansky was playing bass. These guys are my brothers. That's how I met Nas. He came to that show and he really liked it. We talked afterwards. He was just saying he really enjoyed it. We became buddies. Then I started working in the studio a ton. That was when Rob gave me that advice to start writing. And I co-wrote the song Inner Ninja with Classified, and I did a whole bunch of other songs off that album.
That was a
And those
huge hit here in
Yeah,
Canada.
those were my first big cuts in Canada. In other places didn't know about him as much, but he we did so well there, and I love him. Luke's an awesome guy, and he's super talented. We did worked on a lot of music together. So anyway, I was doing that, and I was doing a bunch of other stuff. Then I went down to LA. I took a trip, and I visited some friends, and I also got together with Nasri and Adam in the studio, and we wrote a song, and actually became a single for Chris Brown called "Don't Judge Me."
Wow, that's a good start.
Yeah, please don't judge me, and I won't judge you. It's that song. It's off the Fortune album. So we did that together, and that was like the first thing we did, and it became a Chris Brown single. So I was just so like, oh wow. So the Nas and me, we had a great musical connection, and me and Adam as well. I'd actually met Adam years ago before in Toronto through an ex, and Adam and me were kind of already buddies. Well, we were buddies. I really and I love Adam. Altogether, we formed a kind of like a unit. And then Nas told me, "Hey, man, we should start a band." And I said, "Sure." And he's like, "Well, what kind of well, like, what's the vibe?" And we are thinking, like the Police, maybe like the Police, like not authentic reggae because we're not the right people to bring that to the world, but reggae inspired. And that was at a period of time that the song Locked Out of Heaven was on the radio, Bruno Mars's song. And if you recall, that's very influenced by the Police. It almost sounds just like a homage to the Police. So we started this band and it actually got Justin Nozuka's band to be Magic's band. So I brought actually Anthony and Alex to LA because at that time we weren't playing with Justin anymore. And so I just moved the whole band to LA and we started this new band. Now, and Anthony didn't want to end up working. He was touring with some other country artists, and he was really killing it and doing his own thing. And he's subsequently gone on to do some other amazing stuff. Like he started his own barber shop, and now he's working in the car industry. So he didn't want to stay in Magic, which was totally cool. He left, and then my buddy Ben Spivak, who was here in LA, was already coming by the house, and him and me were just kicking it and hanging and working on some music together. And it just sort of naturally fell in position because we didn't have a bass player, and Ben's an amazing bass player, and he was there, and it's just like he just slid right in perfectly. So there we go. We had Ben and Nasri, Alex, and me, and that was magic. The first song that we released was Rude, which is insane because it was just like a rocket ship that went just out of this galaxy